Hey everybody, this is Yvonne, and I am coming to you through Little Works Odds and Ends. Yesterday we posted our video on our first kiss. This was a request by the introvert 83, and afterwards we decided to go ahead and just film a freestyle because I was waxing poetic about the time that I came out to my family. So the camera kept rolling, and we decided to go ahead and post that because I haven't posted a coming out story. So hope you enjoy it. So
Cheers.
cheers. I'm going to talk about coming out to my family. Um, I came out to myself in 1981, meaning that coming out to myself meant admitting that I had feelings for another woman. And it also encompasses the idea of something that had been rolling around in my head ever since I was like in high school. So this should not be new to me. So after I met and fell in love with Myra and we moved in together, well, we moved in together and then we fell in love. Or maybe it all happened at the same time. I don't know. That's part of the coming out. So Myra had already come out. She'd been out to her parents for maybe about a year, year and a half. And I am busting because I gotta tell somebody. So I'm not ready to come out to my mom and dad. I come brought up in a real serious church environment. You know what I mean? I taught Sunday school and was in the choir, and that was part of my life. That was part of me. That's part of me growing up. So I decided to go ahead and come out to my little brother. It was real Thornbirds type of crazy walking along the beach of Buckrow, bearing my soul type of thing. It was funny. I mean, in hindsight, it was funny, but at the time, it was kind of, traumatic. So my brother was home for the holiday or something. So 84, 83, 85. So he may have graduated from college by now. So he was definitely visiting from the DMV. And I said, I got something to tell you, got to talk about it. And basically, I told him, I said, okay, I just want to let you know that I'm gay. Myra and I are in a relationship, yada, yada, yada. So we're walking along the beach as this conversation is going on. And he was very, very open and very calm, very quiet. He goes, oh, okay, all right. I support you. We cool. I went, okay, that's good. And he says, but don't tell mom, dad. I went, okay, I ain't ready to tell them anyway. So, so we were cool, and everything was back and forth. We're fine. We're my brother and I tight. You know, we've never had any major issues. We never fought. We never wanted to wish each other ill or anything. So, it was a good thing. But it wasn't until '87, which was at least 2.5 years later, that I came out to my parents. And your head was in there. Oh, sorry. So I came out to my parents, and I picked this Saturday, and it just so happened that when I went over to the house, 'cause my mom and dad are always home, and they retired, and at least I think Dad was retired at the time. Yeah, he was retired, and I went over there and sat down with Mom because Dad had left out for errands, And I said, Mom, I got something to tell you, and I don't know how you're going to feel about it, or whatever words that kids normally say during that thing. I can't remember. It's been way too long. And I said, Mom, I'm gay. And I just wanted to make sure that you, and when Dad gets here, we're going to have to tell him together. And I really didn't know how she was going to react. And she goes, well, that kind of explains things. And we're just going to have to tell your dad about it. And then I started crying. She goes, why are you crying? I feel like this. What is this? I feel a rocket in the background. Why are you crying? I don't know where that came from. But she said, why are you crying? I said, because Mom, people, we know, I have seen and heard horror stories of, family, putting their kids out and this, that, and the other and everything. She goes, you know me better than that. And why would you think any other way? We're going to be okay. And, you're not any different than what you were before. And she said, we're just going to have to tell your dad about it. So maybe about 20 minutes or so later, Daddy comes home, and I went, okay, shit, I got to go through this again with my daddy. So my mom says, Lee, we have something to tell you. And so I tell Dad, I said, Dad, I've already talked to Mom, and I need to talk to you and let you know that I'm gay. And it's been like this for a while. I've had these feelings. And he says, and he was very, quiet and it's kind of sad. And this is a man that, for ever since I was a kid, I watched Godzilla movies with, And he seemed like he was disappointed. And then he said, well, this has been going on for a while. We could have got, help. And I said, Dad, there's no need for help. And I think he was thinking about, we could have shrunk this. But I think he came to that realization, that there was nothing wrong with me. That, I'm the same person that I was before, I don't need any head shrinking or anything. And he, accepted it and everything. So when I left, I gave them both a hug. They gave me a hug. I said, if you have any questions or if you need anything, to let me know, this, that, and the other. And I came home. And I think that over the weeks later, I would call them, and I called them about a week later to see if they were okay. And they were, and everything was fine. And I think that I knew that my parents had accepted not just me, but also Myra, was an incident where we were at brunch at Captain George's. And we were scarfing and barfing, because that's what you do at an all-you-can-eat place, is to scarf and barf. So it was me, Myra, my dad, and Mama at Captain George's buffet, seafood buffet. And Daddy saw one of his work guys, or a guy from church or something like that. And I don't think I've ever met this man before, so I'm assuming could be somebody from church, from work. And he says, this is my wife, and this is my daughter, and this is Myra. She might as well be my other daughter. And that's when the epiphany happened. When at that moment, Daddy had fully accept it because he was put on the spot, and that's there, and that's a telling moment when he said, "This is Myra. That's what be my other daughter," and that was cool. And then going forth, there are times when every time I would call, how's Myra, you know, and I think at going forth, being at every other event, later on in our relationship, meeting my grandmother for the first time. And speaking of when Myra met my grandmother for the first time, we all going to West by God, Virginia, and she was working. Oh yes, Yvonne bought a big old lesbian home. And the big old lesbian came correct because she came bearing gifts, and little household like tea towel sets, and bought a whole thing for my grandmother, and I'm going like, damn, that's what you're supposed to do. And raise right. And I remember at one point we all in the living room or outside in the, on the granny's porch, and somebody had asked, "Where's Myra?" I said, "Myra's in there. I don't know where Myra is."
Talking to Granny.
And then I went. I said, "I think she's in there talking to Granny." And sure enough, her and Granny in the kitchen, hanging out. And I went, "Key." So that's me coming out to my family, my aunties, my cousins, all the above. It's when they see me, they see her.
We don't. 40 years is a long time.
Mm-hmm.
That we were like, we weren't in our parents' house for 40 years.
No.
So we definitely know each other more than
we've had a household.
We've had it, and most of the time we remember ourselves together. Like, we don't remember not being together.
Yeah.
At all. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah, but Granny and I, we were, I really wanted to know what they was cooking.
That's why you were in the kitchen.
Right. Across the street, Aunt Dot.
Oh, Aunt, yeah.
Made salmon cakes.
And homemade rolls.
Like, she needed to be slapped and put in the closet. Just sit down.
So
oh my God. And I could not believe. And I went to my first coal mine.
That's right. We went into a coal mine for the first time.
They laughed at me because they didn't realize that I really wanted to see the coal mine. I mean, that's like
a geek. Nerd.
I mean, it's a
nerdy
mine.
Thing. It's a nerd.
I live on the East Coast. You don't have a coal mine.
No.
But that was, I wanted to know what was going on.
So we got in these little cars.
It was funny.
Where the ceiling is about this far, and this motherfucker is talking about Widowmakers. Now, let me tell you what a Widowmaker is. Widowmaker is fossilized wood. Petrified wood. Yeah. Rock.
That's a tree.
When they are, was formerly a tree, where when you are digging and mining for coal, these motherfuckers drop. Like, you hit that sweet spot.
Right. And the tree falls down. That's rock right now.
Right, yeah. Or an
added danger to that job.
Yes. It ain't just the canary.
So I was not comfortable in that hole at that point at all. I'm looking, and they had like braces over areas that, and when they talked about the methane, I was like, okay, I'm done.
So,
but I did get coal mine water.
Yeah, you got coal mine water and a lighter.
That was a lighter.
That was our
souvenir. That was when we went to the mountains to see the folk.
Yep. So that's it.
Coming out.
West
by God. Mount Bama.